Hey there, OSR Academy. I am very excited, so excited to have my friend and credit expert, Thea Dudley, author of The Credit Overlords. Well, you'll have to explain why you're the credit overlord. Guide to Credit and Collections. And Thea, I'm going to tee you up here just to give a little overview of yourself and why you're passionate about credit. Because when I look at credit as a business owner, I love sales. This is what we're talking about. We're talking about sales. What I really love, and the only time I really count a sale is when that check is deposited and I see it in my account and I can, put the proverbial food on the table for the family. But when I think about credit and you look at kind of the larger view, credit is what enables growth. It's trust. But if it's not very intentional, it can be the ruin of a lot of different companies. And I think specifically for us, as we move forward and the economy is changing a little bit, we all need to start thinking a little bit differently. And for this group, more intentionally about the role that they play in credit. So maybe let's just tee this up at the highest level. When you have, young, talented people that are coming into LBM sales, what's the first thing you want them to know if they're kind of starting from scratch? And I know a lot of these folks are not, but starting from scratch about credit, like where do you start? Why is credit important?
Well, okay. First of all, credit is the cash flow of your business. So when you think about your credit and your credit department, don't think of it as, credit, those guys in the back, they say no to everybody. That's not true. It's cash flow. You have to think about this is how the money moves through our company. One of the things I would really like you to snuggle up to an idea is I'm not your enemy. And I can help you build sales faster than anybody else in the company. Maybe not you, Bradley, but I can help you build those sales by steering you. Hey, if you're looking at this company, come, let's get some conversation going. Let's pre-qualify them. Let me steer you with who in your portfolio could buy more, who maybe we need to have a conversation with. But let's talk about it. I'm not your enemy. Know that we're on the same team, and that I know without sales, we don't make any money, but I've also got to close that loop and make sure that we're getting that money quick enough that it turns over, that we're not having to borrow, because cash flow is all about how quickly we're turning it over from that sale and getting it in the door. So I'm not your enemy.
So I think part of it is that, I kind of view this as there's maybe, obviously, I want to hear your thoughts, but I view this as part of this is just internal. How do we work together as a team? How do we train each other? What are the expectations? How do we communicate and behave as a team when it comes to ultimately extending credit during the sales process, securing the deal, sending the invoice, and collecting that money? The other part, which I'm going to be fascinated about, and I know you have a ton of experience in, is when it comes to some of these hard conversations, sometimes with people we've been doing business with for a long time, and we see him at church, and, I see him at the grocery store, and I saw his kids grow up, and we're all buddies, right? Yet you're either paying your bills on time or you're not. And some of these are hard conversations, but I find a lot of folks, we're not teaching, I don't say just our young talent, we're not teaching any talent on our sales team to how to have these and to have them in any sort of proactive way to do it ahead of time. So how do you think about that, and what might you share in our training?
Is people automatically think that when you're in credit, that you are combative, or that you look for those fights. It's not true. I just don't run from the hard conversations, because I'm either going to have them now or I'm going to have them later. But I can teach you how to have those conversations, because there's relationships and there's buddies. Buddies, you kind of blow off and you gaslight them and you tell them whatever they need to hear. Relationships, you want to protect and you want to grow. So I might have to have a really hard conversation with you, but knowing how to have that and when to tag me as your credit person in and show me who you are. I think part of the biggest challenge with salespeople, and why we each have a reputation, good or bad, with each other, in credit and sales, is that show me who you are. Show me your character. If you show me who you are and show up, you can actually be the company jerk, and I will back you if you're there for me. and you don't leave me standing alone when we've made a decision on something. So there's a lot of things that we can do. Some of it is just learning how to have the conversations. I just have a lot of experience at having conversations, repoing things, turning people down, taking their stuff, explaining to them why something is good for them versus something else. A lot of it is your presentation and how you come at them.
Awesome. Well, cool. We just wanted to give them a taste of kind of who you are, Thea. I'm excited to have you here. And the message that I'll leave our students with is, number one, if you are not already engaged with any sort of the credit process, start asking questions. My expectation is when you show up to this training with Thea, even if you don't do it every day now, you're going to be knowledgeable, at least in a general sense, on how you guys go about your credit philosophy, how you guys execute that. Because as we think about these sales activities, and what Thea is going to help teach us with is the little things you can do up front so you don't end up in a situation with someone that is predictably not paying you, right? Your job isn't just to sell something, it's collect the money and put it in. And an ounce of prevention, it's not just a pound of cure. It's like, Thea, what's the stat? I don't know, 22.46 tons? I don't know. It's a lot. It's don't even get in that situation.
Bring your challenges, your questions. There's nothing's off the table, no holds barred. I'd like to say nothing you bring to me is going to shock me, but every time I've said that, I'm like, well, that's neat.
That's shocking.
But,
oh my gosh.
But bring it, this is your time to ask any questions you want. If there's a way I can help you, I want to arm you with everything that you can to go out and be as successful as you possibly can. And so let's give you some phrases to avoid with your credit manager. Let's get that kryptonite out of there, and let's get you on a really good path on how to leverage all the resources that you have, because your credit department a lot of times is a very untapped resource for you that can help you grow your sales.
Absolutely. Awesome. Thea, I'm excited to have you. Students, come ready. We'll see you shortly.